just because you're being punished for committing a crime does not mean that you lose your right to safety or dignity within the state's care.
In a 2 News exclusive, a state agency siding with an inmate when it comes to prisoner treatment during COVID. Earlier this year, one inmate sued the Utah Department of Corrections, saying that healthcare workers were not properly quarantining infected inmates.
Our chief investigative reporter, Wendy Holleran, obtained new and confidential documents that reveal a little more about the treatment inmates are receiving behind the walls of the Utah State Prison. Wendy?
Well, Mark and Heidi, the Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing, known as DOPL, handed down a decision that calls into question the standard of care for not just this inmate, but for all prisoners.
2 nurses came in and tested 3 people. All 3 tests came back positive.
That's Damon Christ speaking to 2 News Investigates last week from prison in Draper.
Intern, we were locked down, and a team of nurses came over. Not one time did they change their gloves in between COVID-19 tests.
Christ was infected with COVID last November. He complained to prison officials that he was still having a hard time breathing, fuzzy vision, and splitting headaches. He wrote that his request for medication was entered, but nothing about having COVID-19, claiming so it was ignored intentionally.
Just the day before, we had a pre-litigation hearing where a doctor with DOPL was horrified by this.
According to documents obtained by 2 News Investigates, a DOPL decision found UDC Healthcare Director Tony Washington, 3 doctors, a physician's assistant, a registered nurse, and a medical technician, all employed by the state at the prison, breached the standard of care in Chris's case.
It's a repetitive theme that's going on in here where they are truly risking people's lives.
It also said the failure to follow the standard practice in an outbreak of virus in a prison population should have been better designed and, more importantly, better implemented.
And so it is very disappointing and disturbing.
John Mejia is the legal director of the ACLU of Utah.
You know, just because you're being punished for committing a crime does not mean that you lose your right to safety or dignity within the state's care.
Now, the amended complaint right here filed today is seeking to bring a class action lawsuit against the Utah Department of Corrections on behalf of all prisoners there. It will be up to a federal judge whether that is certified or not. Now, I reached out to the Utah Department of Corrections for a response, but have not received